What's happening, guys? So Nate back here, and in this video we're going to talk a little bit about the GDPR, how you can be compliant with your Shopify store. All of that coming up right now. So this video, the date is May 22. I'm filming this. However, May 25th, in a couple days from now, so I'm not sure when this video will be posted, probably the same day. On May 25th, goes into effect a new rule inside the European Union that requires compliance and updating your privacy policy and everything like this in order to let customers and let people know that use your website, what kind of data you're using, how are you using it, who you're sharing it with, making sure that you have consent for everything about people's personal private information. So I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert at this at all. I'm gonna tell you right now, you gotta do your own research 100%. The funny thing about this though is nobody has a clear, really clear indication of exactly what they need. There's no step-by-step checklist. Okay, your website needs to have a box here. Your privacy policy needs to have these exact phrases. You need to have blah, 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 blah. There's none of that. It's very unclear right now how to be perfectly compliant on your store. So I'm gonna do my best to give you my thoughts and my opinions on this topic. I recently updated my privacy policy for my app and my printed out of my store. Hopefully that includes compliant information. Some people saying that you need to have a banner pop up on the website, letting people click it, saying they agree to the terms of service. From my perspective, you don't need that. You just need to have the privacy policy available on every page, and then in that privacy policy, you have very clear documentation of what information you collect, what cookies, what services you connect with, how you're using the information, where you're sharing the information, how to opt out if people don't want to be, and all that. So that is part of that. But what GDPR, from my perspective, is it's really aimed at like really big corporations like the Googles, the Apples, the Facebooks, right? The minimum fine if you're not compliant is like $20 million. That would put, if a normal Shopify store were to get in trouble, that would put them out of business and in debt for the next lifetime. So I honestly don't think it's aimed at small stores. However, it doesn't mean you should ignore it. You should still be compliant, which is very unclear right now what that actually means. But there's a couple points that I'll make, and that is you really need to make sure you document when people opt in to your email lists, right? So if you have a pop-up, whatever, or for example, if you make sales in your store, on the Shopify page, there's a checkbox that says they agree to receive marketing promotion or marketing materials, okay? So what you need to do is make sure, well, Shopify makes sure that's unchecked. So you wanna make sure that anytime you collect email, it's not automatically checked that they're saying they're okay with receiving marketing materials. You wanna make sure that no checkboxes are pre-checked. So the person has to manually check it themselves. That's like the first thing. And then if, for example, you have pop-ups in your website, right? You gotta make sure that the form that it's collecting the email has links to how that email is gonna be used. Is it gonna be marketing? Is it gonna be sold? Whatever, right? So the people are very clear what they're opting in for. And then from your standpoint in the back end, you wanna make sure that you have very strict lists and you don't combine different lists. So do not combine your buyer list with your marketing list, and do not try to email your buyers marketing materials unless they've opted in for marketing promotions, okay? And then you have to have that list, document it when everybody signed up, what IP they use, what time of day, where they're located, so you can prove that they consented to receive marketing materials on such and such date. Now, as a Shopify owner, you're probably using apps to do this, to collect emails. So you just gotta make sure the apps that you're using are compliant, which means they are following the rules or whatever, which again are unclear, so nobody really knows what they are. Shopify, I know, updated their terms of service. So you want to make sure that you regenerate your terms of service on the store, copy it, and then put it on your website. Just make sure it's updated to the newest version. So Shopify is doing a good good job and they're making sure that everybody's store is doing the best it can, but doesn't mean you're automatically compliant if you have a Shopify store, okay? So what else I wanna know? Yeah, check your apps. I know that I updated my app privacy policy, and I'm gonna email sellers. Now the problem is, like, if you have an existing email list of Shopify let's say Shopify customers, existing list of buyer customers, right? If some of those customers are from the EU and you don't have the clear date that they consented, you can't actually email them anymore. So you have to have the consented date that they agreed to receive marketing materials. And some people go as far as re-opt everybody in. I don't think that's actually necessary as long as you have the date and the proof that they consented to receive marketing materials. Now, I know Shopify has been preparing for this for a while, so the default checkout page on Shopify did not pre-select, auto receive marketing materials, at least for a while. It hasn't done that for a while. So I think for the last 6 months or a year or whatever, anybody that you've had in your store get customer and they actually check that box, I want to receive marketing materials. Shopify has that documentation, and I'm pretty sure you can receive that and look at it if you want it. It says there's a whole section inside the customers on your Shopify store, and it says accepts marketing. And there's a tab for that, and you can see who accepts marketing. But my app's updated the privacy policy. Definitely go check it out. Obviously, we have our factory. We need your address and we need your customers' addresses to mail. So you're, as a Shopify store owner, are sharing your customer data with me, who's then printing it out and shipping it. So you have to document in your privacy policy that you are sharing it with third-party manufacturers in order to fulfill orders. So that means you got to make sure that you update your stuff so that let your customers know that you're sharing the information with apps like me. And what else I want to read? I got a couple links here. Now, I'll put 2 links in the description. There's one by Shopify directly, they go over good points, and then there's another one by Out of the Sandbox Theme, how to make sure your theme is GDPR compliant. And they have a really nice article about double checking things with your themes. So definitely take a look at that. I'm gonna put those both links in the description of this video. What my predictions are for GDPR is basically, right now, it's an overscare. Everybody's all freaking out. They don't know what that is because there's no clear information. Like I said, it's aimed at big corporations. I think basically, if you're small, you're not gonna have to deal with, You're not gonna have to deal with it, probably not, right? But what I see happening is you're gonna get a lot of customers or a lot of people that are aware of the new compliance, right? And they're gonna use that as a threatening tool if they don't like your emails, or they said they'd never agreed to receive emails from you, which happens now, right? You send marketing promotions to people. You have an email that's so big, it's gonna happen, people complain, right? It's part of the process. And so what's gonna happen now is if those people are aware, they live in the European Union and they are aware of the GDPR rules, then they're going to use that as a threatening tool and say they're going to report you. That's my predictions. Now, whether that actually anything happens with that, I'm not sure. Maybe, because I really honestly think there's going to be so many customers that are going to use it as like a threatening tool that whoever's in charge of, doing the investigation on stores or companies that are not compliant, they're gonna be so flooded with complaints from us, like normal people complaining about other businesses, that they're never gonna be able to actually investigate all the complaints. And so what's gonna happen is, they're gonna focus on those big companies, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna ignore all the complaints for the small people, unless something like generates a lot of complaints, and then they actually have to look into it. But just be aware that whenever new rules come out like this, you will get people that say, I never agreed to my emails, I'm gonna report you to blah, 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 you're going to jail, I'm closing your business. And they think they have power over you. And they think like the customer thinks he can, if he doesn't like you and your business and he doesn't like the emails that you send, he thinks he can take your company down by sending one bad complaint email, which is funny. And honestly, nothing's gonna really happen with that, but just know that that kind of stuff will happen, and You just want to make sure that, yeah, you are compliant. Yeah, you get consent from people to email. You do everything, whatever you need to do. Read on your own material. Make sure that you double check things. And then, yeah, just regenerate your policies and make it clear. You can do pop-ups, and that probably will help, but I don't think you need to. So that's my thoughts on GDPR compliance. I know it's nothing special. I'm not a guru. I'm not saying that I know all the answers. I think it'll be more clear in the coming months what actually is needed. Basically as soon as someone gets sued, then that will be the example, and everybody knows exactly what they need to do in order to follow the rules, which are not that clear. So yeah, I would wish they made it more clear. You know, having 100-page documents, legal documents, is not the answer, and that's why I hate bureaucracy, because it's never good. Bureaucracy is subject to opinions, basically. Okay, so. That's my end of my complaint. That's my end of my opinions on this whole topic. Thought I'd make a quick one and let you guys decide what your thoughts and feelings on it. So I'll put those links in the description. Take a look at them, read them, and check out my new videos when I come out every day. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.